your hands up if you know what a serval is. Oh, a few of you do, a lot don't. Well, you're in for a very pleasant surprise even if you do know what it is. Now, I've got to run through a little bit of housekeeping, some safety tips. Note where the emergency exits are. Not that we're going to need them. The people that are up the back, if you either could sit down or if you're standing, just keep nice and still. Also, while this presentation's on, if we could just refrain from asking any questions. There'll be a question and answer time after the session. Also, everyone needs to be seated and nice and quiet. So, mums and dads got to keep littlies seated for about 10 minutes, okay? Now, what I'd like you to do, hold on a moment, keep your eye on that doorway over there and get your cameras ready, folks, okay? Our keeper Paul is about to bring a friend of his out. Here we go.
Right, there's me. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks very much for coming to our serval presentation. What do you think of Nanki? She's beautiful. Some of you may have seen her before. What has she found? What have you got there? She's found a little bit of bone that the crows or the ravens have dropped in the boat. I don't get that from her. But coming in here is not her normal place, so she likes to find little bits and pieces. Sometimes the possums have been in here and she has a bit of a go. See if I can get that off her. What is it? Good girl. You're supposed to have bones. Good girl. Come on say hello. So folks, servals are not on public display here at the zoo, so it's the only time you're going to see them at all during the day. We do occasionally take them for walks, so if you're lucky enough to see us taking them for walks on a lead, that's something we can do, which actually gives them a great quality of life in terms of an animal that's in a cage like here at the zoo. So what we've done, the reason we decided to do it that way, we were going to build a big expensive display, and we decided that servals spend a lot of time resting and sleeping, as they do, and we didn't want frustrated people, so we thought we'd showcase their abilities in this way. Now, servals are the tallest of Africa's small cats, and they're incredibly agile, and we're going to hopefully show you some of those things. At the moment, they're a grassland species, and so they eat mainly rodents, but they also take other prey. We're going to show you perhaps how they may jump out into the air, catch birds. They may stalk along branches, catch roosting birds at night, and even look at their long legs, the ability to grab things out of hollow logs. It could be a nest of baby birds in there, or there could be a small mammal. So certainly those long legs give them an advantage. And they can jump 3 metres into the air and catch birds on the wing. Little birds from the size of sparrows to birds the size of cranes. So they're very, very agile. Big male servals may weigh twice as much as Nanki over here. She's a girl. She weighs around 9 kilograms. Big males can weigh twice as much, and they can even take small antelopes sometimes. I think she's found an old piece of meat. Good girl, station. All right, so their main prey, as I said, it consists of rodents, about 75% rodents, and they'll spend a long time sitting and listening. Nanki, station, good girl. Have a look at the size of her ears. Up, good girl. Sometimes she's a little bit naughty. Come on, yeah, station. Good. Now those ears, she can hear about 5 times better than we can, and if she hears a mouse on the ground, she'll jump 3.5 metres and catch that mouse that way. Good girl. All right, good girl. So. If you might have seen the guinea fowl out on the lawn, they're a big African game bird with spots all over them. That's one of their favourite birds, and they roost up in trees at night time, and of course if they can walk stealthily along a branch quietly enough, they should be able to catch a big plump guinea fowl, and that really makes a nice meal. Now while I've got her here, just have a look at the pattern behind her ears. You'll notice the black and white markings. That's what they see mainly. They don't see all the colours that we do. So young ones can follow mum through the long grass, looking at those lovely patterns like that. Good girl. Good girl. I'll just bring her up over here quickly and see if I can bring out one of her claws. Nanki, come on. Yeah. Just get her to... Now, your cat or dog at home has probably got a dew claw, if you can see that. You may or may not be able to. Hold. So that big claw is what they use to climb trees, to hook birds out of the air, and even clean their eyes. So quite a useful appendage called a dew claw. Okay, hopefully you can all see that. Good girl. Now, when there's perhaps not so much other food around, maybe a pond drying up, a few fish in the pond, they're not averse to going into a little bit of water, sometimes quite deep into the water actually, and finding fish or the occasional frog. Typical cat, isn't she? Good girl. Good girl. when it's hot, we can make it go a little bit deeper. Good girl. Station. Good girl. Okay. Now you'll notice I'm just giving you a few little hand signals. When they were small, we always got them, we sit to them station, and like this, and when she comes to the log, in with a little bottle or a little bit of meat, and that's how we train them to do what we're doing at the moment. So pretty simple, but the consistency needs to be there, and everyone needs to be on the same page, quite literally. So that's why we have a training plan where we do these things. Okay, good girl. See that nice big jump? Good girl, Nanki. Now hollow logs again. Provide. Come on, you're going down there. Here it is. Come on. So again, small mammals in hollow logs. Not too much of a difficulty for this animal to get. Now, in Africa, in the grasslands where you find them predominantly, you get these big birds called secretary birds. Now, they may nest on low acacia trees if they're low enough and stupid enough to get within range of a serval, hopefully, for the serval's sake, and maybe not. Come on, Nanki. Maybe not the secretary bird's sake. They can certainly utilise that ability to jump so nice and high and catch a fledgling. Good girl. Good girl. All right. We'll see if she can climb this tree behind me. I don't think he thinks she can climb the tree quite easily, I reckon. Good girl. Sit. Okay. Now, hopefully, she'll. If she was going up a tree at that speed, there's a certain number of prey animals that she could catch. Certain lizards. You get that run up and down trees and hide behind trees called agamas. In Africa, that's an animal that she would certainly catch. So reptiles form a part of her prey. In fact, here, of course, there are a few snakes. She was actually bitten by a snake. We nearly lost her when she was young. She's about 2.5 years old now. But if it hadn't been for the hand raising and the fact that we could hold her every day and get a drip up into her, we probably wouldn't have her here today. So we're pretty fortunate. Good girl. Station. So, here we go. What do you reckon? Enjoy servals? Okay, I might take a couple of questions about this animal. Otherwise, I'll hand back over to Doris. And if you're in the vicinity, we might get the cheetah chasing a lure later on. So, if you're around, maybe in the next 20 minutes or so, head over to the cheetah there. But anybody got any questions about servals? Yes, mate. Nice and loud.
Why did they have spots? And they really look a lot like leopards.
That's a very good question. Why do they have spots and they really look a lot like leopard? They look a lot like leopard or cheetah. And in fact, sometimes people say, is that a cheetah or a leopard? They have spots because that is their camouflage in the grass. Those animals, the cheetah and the leopard, they also live in the grass. And that colour, the tawny colour with the spots, helps them to blend in very well into the grass. So when they're stalking their prey, she's asking me for me. That's how they'll stay inside. How are you, mate?
How old is she?
How old is she? Nanki is nearly 2, or just over 2.5 years old. Alright, 2.5. We had her here since she was a little baby. We bottle fed her in the beginning. Hold. And they can live to 27 years in captivity, which is a very, very long time. Okay, I'm going to take one more in the middle. The lady with the hat on. Yes. How did we get these to the Werribee Zoo? These animals were born in Australia at a place in New South Wales called Mogo Zoo, and they were babies when we got them, so they were born in captivity. We don't take any animals out of the wild anymore. Generally speaking, they get born in captivity if we're going to use them for the zoo. Good girl. All right, I'll feed her there. Maybe one more, okay? Then I'll better hand back to Doris, otherwise I'll be here all afternoon. Yes. How big can they get? Well, she's fully grown. Females weigh between 7 and 9 kilograms, and males weigh between 9 and about 18, which is twice as much as her. She weighs about 9.5 kilograms. So they're not big. They're the tallest of the small cats in Africa, but they don't really weigh a lot. There's a lot of leg in there because of those elongated bones. Your wrist bones, for instance, those bones are longer in the serval, which is why they're very tall like that. I'm going to leave it there. If you've got another question, I'll get you to hand it back to Doris. Nanki's thinking it's time to go, but I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed meeting our beautiful animal. Hey, Nanki. Hey, good girl. All right, thanks so much for your time and enjoy your day at the zoo.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Nanki. Now, I'm just going to wait till Paul gets Nanki back and secure with her sisters. Just might talk to you a little bit about our domestic cats. He's got a cat at home. Yes? Now, what you just saw that cat do, that's what your cat can do as well. And that's why, unfortunately, we have a bit of a problem with our wildlife, the feral cats eating our wildlife. So, as responsible cat owners, we like to encourage you to de-sex your cats, collars and bells if they're out during the day, and keep them in at night. I always like to say, do you know what your cat's up to at night? I know exactly what my cat's up to. He's curled up next to me. He's my purring hot water bottle. So, it's up to us to be responsible cat owners. I'll just see. Paul's still there. I'm just waiting for him to put Nanki aside. Does anyone have any other questions just quickly?
Yeah, thanks, Doris. See you guys.
Thanks, Paul. Because they are cats. They're all of the cat family, from your domestic cat, the cat you might have at home, to the biggest of the cats like lions and tigers. They're all from the cat family. What's their lifespan? As Paul said, they can live up to 27. We had a Serval. She ended up at Melbourne Zoo and she passed away, I think, just before her 27th birthday. So it's a good age. Now, what I'm going to do, because some people have to catch buses, I'll open these doors and I'll just wait outside there. So with those of you with your hands raised, come up and talk to me outside, okay?